Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. World's beyond a pole. We said we'd be back in it, man. And it's great timing. Because our orientation has never been so important than right now. Before it's more of a mind blasting journey. I remember first building. Love to all the team, love to all the family, love to the melanated true earth plane. Wonderful group on Facebook, man. If y'all ain't checked out or don't know about the melanated true earth plane, MTAP. Wow, it's some amazing sisters and brothers, and I know it's rocking and rolling, man. Love to Montez, love to Silas Nehemiah, Sheila, all the family in there. So many family in there, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all, and yeah, man, we've been riding this wave for a minute. You know what I'm saying? This is way before 432 to drop, you know what I'm saying? Started dropping stuff on YouTube like that, man, and so it's been a long journey for those that have been on it with us. They know us well. And this is the stuff that we, you know what I'm saying, are built on. We had a great time, debating, going back and forth, you know what I'm saying, with people on this. And, it's just a matter of, it's so great, when things get validated more and more, the more recon we do. This initial joint, I forgot who told me about it initially, but love to you, whoever dropped it. And love to all the family that's been sending different copies of it, because it's very hard to find. I heard now that you can get it on Amazon for much cheaper. I don't know if it's going to be the whole shebang, bang, bang. But love to everybody. And yeah, man, we did like a 10-part series, and we got some more when we did the, you know what I'm saying, no trees on flat earth and all that. And yeah, everything has continued to validate that. Even the Mount Roraima situation that we got before, with the tree stump being the source of the Orinoco River and the source of the Amazon, right here in South America. Written by Amadeo Giannini. I told you, man, love to Giannini. We're just talking about the physical continuity of the universe. And again, the timing is perfect because the so-called Negro has been at war. No need to declare it when we've already been at war. Order's always been at war against chaos. And we're continuing our orientation, because what's more important at war as POWs, according to the Papal Bull, 1452, Dumb Diversas, you are a prisoner of war. When you're a prisoner of war, you need to know your habitat. The Creator's with you. You need to be firm. You need to be fixed. You need to be immovable. Dig on it or get left on. Immovable. Physical continuity of the universe. Do you think up is up? Do you think down is down? Yo, man, so habitat is very important. I never was one to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, anyone who's talking about the flat earth discussion, it's just a triggered thing. When you say flat earth, it's like a robotic triggered thing, for people to react. That's how much they saturated it, even putting it in the media, or even politicians talking about it. They saturate it, it's like dumbing you down, or they want to get to you before the truth does. You know what I'm saying? When someone has a lie on you, they'll drop it even before they have any, facts or anything like that, just to try to muddy the water so that the truth doesn't have as much of a foundation. But the truth always gets founded. The truth always, finds fertile ground. And the fertile ground is you, the seed, the so-called Negro, the copper color race found here. So I do this for you. Every time I start doing videos on so-called, flat earth, what I'm saying, trigger, a lot of people, that just are into flat earth, come check it out, and I try to cover it well, and I appreciate the love, and all that. But I do it for the so-called Negro, man. The ones that don't know who they are. I'm doing it so that they can have a habitation and orientation, be oriented, You know what I'm saying? Not be spinning on a ball, not twisting out into infinity again. You want to meditate, but how can you ever be firm and fixed if you're spinning around at 1,100 miles per hour? How can you ever say you're meditating if you're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour? You have to stop spinning so you can see. You have to see. I take it very serious. It's not a distraction to know your habitat, to know your orientation, because you are prisoners of war, and they want you all disoriented. So this goes out to all the prisoners of war. So you know who I do it for, but all those that are affected, you might not be a so-called Negro. You might not be copper colored, but you get it, and you're feeling the vibration, and you know what I'm saying? You want to, learn, what we're talking about when we call on Hawa, when we connect to our creator, when we, get the babies out the bathwater and surf the wave. It's all good, man. Surf the wave, just understand the root of the tree. The root of the tree, is awakening and never get in our way. You stay out, stay in your lane. It's a beautiful thing. Stay in your lane. It's a beautiful thing. So let's go, man. That's just a little, backstory. And again, man, love to the Melanated True Earth playing, man. And so, you guys have given me so much, great ammo, man. Great ammo, man, just to keep building on and, shooting through this illusion. That's what we're trying to do, shoot through this illusion. So we're getting the recap, and got to start, at the tip, because we have to establish the foundation of Giannini before we go any further. So we know the perspective that we're going to get, because it's a very unique perspective. This is a very unique publication, you know what I mean? So dig on it. Let's go. So let's start at the top. Let me drink a sip of my alkali, and I'll be powered up. Enjoy the Spanish guitars. I just try to keep it classy around here, Just try to keep it in 432 hertz for educational purposes only. Hope you're enjoying that. It's about 4 a.m. I saw this drop, so much drop out there. Love to everyone dropping that drop. Love to AD, man. That was a cold track, man. The Prophet. This drop was what was it talking about? Like how the sun, how certain sun rays hit at certain times, and when you want to see these anomalies around these sacred sites, you can only see them at certain times, and it's really the pre-dawn hours. So it's before the sun fully rises up. It's that first initial burst of, pure water energy, where you can, catch the most anomalies around these sacred sites. And he was like, yeah, it's the dawn. It's that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, like right there, right as soon as the sun starts really kind of, other rays, it carries different rays, and the other rays are a lot less, powerful as it gets on during the day, and, all that kind of stuff. But I always thought I was a night owl. I'll be up all the time around this time. I guess it's just that I naturally like soaking up some of the good stuff, man. So I'm always up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Anyway, my children wake me up, and then they want me to, put some pancakes on or something, man. Some flapjacks, man. So that's just how my life works. But love to my people, love to my family, man. Holding me down. Preface, Giannini, let go. The following pages contain the first and only description of the realistic universe of land, water, oxygen, and vegetation, where human and other forms of animal life abound. This is not a work of fiction, nor is it a technical analysis of anything. It is a simple recital of fact which transcends the most elaborate fiction ever conceived. It is diametrically opposed to the assumptions and the mathematical conclusions of theorists and technicians throughout the ages. It is truth. These pages describe the physical land routes from the earth to every land area of the universe about us, which is all land. You He's talking about your stars, your constellations, all the things you think are above you are all connected, physical continuity. They're all land. They're not above. You can go to the stars by going straight, not up. And this is what we're going to get when we talk about these collected land areas. And you remember these maps like this found in the Japanese cave over 1,000 years ago. This map was made 10 centuries ago, you know. And this is your earth as you know it. If you're a bird, you know, if you're Hawa above the barrier looking down like a grasshopper looking down and circling, walking across to and fro on the vault. The vault. A vault is a vault. A vault. This is your firmament. This is, you know, so this is all you know, right? So to you, this is your ball. This is Earth. This is the ball, the limited Earth. This is all we got. 26,000 mile circumference. All right, boom. That's all you got. 26,000 miles. So there must be curvature, what, every 6 inches, 8 inches, you know, people say different things, but look, then you got all this outside of the barrier. And we got another map, my man Isaac sent me that we'll look at again too. So all this other land, all this other land. Now what does this got to do with the stars in the sky? Let's go. These pages describe the physical land routes from the earth to every land. Let's get it bigger. To every land area of the universe about us, which is all land. Such routes extend from beyond the North Pole and South Pole, so-called ends of the earth, as decreed by the theory. It will here be adequately shown that there are no northern or southern limits to the earth. It will thereby be shown where movement straight ahead from the pole points and on the same level as the earth permits of movement into celestial land areas appearing up or out from the earth. An original treatise basic to this book was written and has been expounded at American universities 1927 and 1930. Since then, the U.S. Naval Research Bureau and the U.S. Navy's exploratory forces have conclusively confirmed the work's principal features. This has been confirmed in 1930, people. This ain't play. Since December 12, 1928, U.S. naval polar expeditions have determined the existence of indeterminable land extent beyond both pole points, out of bounds of the assumed isolated globe, Earth. Assumed isolated globe, Earth, as postulated by the Copernican theory of 1543. We know our history around here, right? What else was going down in the 16th century? A whole world of change. Remember, they took your ancient love song and gave you an excellent new tune. So says Samuel Sewall in The Selling of Joseph. He says, yeah, we brought our Jesus and we gave them an excellent new tune and took away their ancient love song. 432. Your creator, your sound, your vibration was changed. Copper colored race, found here by the Europeans. 1828 Webster Dictionary. We're just talking about the definition of American. And yeah, he even has a chapter on Columbus, so it all plays. On January 13th, 1956, as this book was being prepared, a U.S. Naval Air Unit penetrated to the extent of 2,300 miles beyond the assumed South Pole end of the Earth. Again, if you think this is play, and you think that we just tripping and that people are talking about the Earth not being a spinning ball out of nowhere and that there's been no research done and that there's been no recordation and that there's been no confirmation, we're talking about 1928, we're talking about 1930, and right now I'm talking about January 13th, 1956, as this book was being prepared, a U.S. Naval Air Unit penetrated to the extent of 2,300 miles beyond the assumed South Pole end of the Earth. That flight was always over land and water and ice. For very substantial reasons, the memorable flight received negligible press notice. Completely, black media. This is what happens. It's a media blackout. It's been a media blackout. And you say there's no proof of this, or I would have heard about it, or they would have taught me. Negligible. The United States and more than 30 other nations prepared unprecedented polar expeditions for 1957 to 58 to penetrate land now proved to extend without limit beyond both pole points. Proof, evidence, records, you look them up from here. My original disclosure of then unknown land beyond the pole points in 1926 to 28 was captioned by the press as more daring than anything Jules Verne's ever conceived. So this is someone who's done the experiments, who's going to take you through all the methods, all the stratosphere experiments, how high his stratosphere, rockets and all that stuff was being launched and all that stuff, and how even when you're looking down on New Mexico, I think it was a whole area around New Mexico, the Four Corners, he said that looked like a constellation from as high as he got. So in other words, as high as he got, this started glowing and looking globular. Everything started looking like separated. New Mexico and New York looked like two different stars separated. Yet they were all on land. And what you're picking up is the atmosphere. What you're picking up is, whatever atmospheric glow, but you're not picking up a separated, isolated, globular body. Oh, this star, that star, that star, this star. All of it is land, water, ice. So they say we're going into outer space. There is no outer space. It's land, water, ice. Water above, water below. All this time they had a telescope. The Vatican has a telescope named Lucifer pointed at the ceiling, pointed at land, water, and ice. A superpower telescope. And you trying to tell me they don't know that they're looking at land, water, and ice? Not outer space, 96 million trillion light years away, but more land, more water, more ice outside of the barrier of the Middle Earth. And if they keep you here spinning, then you'll never explore. You'll never know the recon, the resources. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you small. It keeps you small. But you're not small. The earth is not small. You're of the earth. The earth is not small. It's unlimited. This ain't Moors on Mars, man. This is the unlimited earth, and it's yours by inheritance. More daring than any Julius Verne's ever conceived anything. Today, 30 years later, the United States, Russia, Argentina, and other nations have bases on that realistic land extent beyond the earth. They all have bases on the realistic land extent beyond the earth. Again, if this is the earth and this is beyond the earth, then they have bases. You think they just have bases in Antarctica? You think the Antarctic Treaty is a joke? And it's never been broken since, 1957? Never been broken by all the most powerful countries. All the wars going on, this treaty's never been broken. Because they don't want none of their people exploring outside of here. Because they got they set up outside of here. Oh, man. I mean, when I say they got they set up. Again, man, love to my man Isaac Ford, man. Let me see. Yeah, love to my man Isaac Ford, man. Let me tell you. Let's download this joint. This is what Drop Nation does, man. Bang. They say they have bases on the realistic land extent outside of the earth, okay? So change your perspective. Not on a spinning ball outside the earth, outside of the land. The earth is the land. Outside of the land, you know. Outside of the ice wall of Antarctica. The ice wall of Antarctica in all directions is Antarctica, the ice wall. Then there's gates. This gate is called, you know what I'm saying? Now look, this is your fallen angel hijack. These fallen angels are keeping you in here. So look what they're naming this stuff. All right, it don't mean that they can't name the sun. The sun has a name beyond what they can name it. They can't name nothing. They're just hijacking everything. So when they look at this, you say Summer Gate Bahama Wabat Ra. So Ra has a gate. Ra has a gate. Out of that gate, you have another sun. You have a sun in the gate, sun outside the gate. I'm pretty sure you got another sun somewhere else outside another gate. But here's another one. And here's another moon. And next to that moon is that rogue dark body that makes your lunar eclipse, because it sure ain't this little sun. The solar eclipse is made when this moon eclipses it, but what eclipses the moon to make a lunar eclipse? This black body. They call it Yah. Yah means defiance. They call it Yah. They call it Yah. They call this one Set and Anubis. This rogue body here and the moon they call Set. They call this soul, sun, soul, sun, soul. Then they have their streams. Then they have Thoth moving island. Thoth the moving island. And we showed how these streams work when we looked at the azimuthal equidistant projection on a wonderful resource that I'll pull up in a little bit as well. All right, so we can look at the streams again. But you see all these worlds, right? So if they pulled up on you in America and called it a new world, what do you think this is? Another world. What do you think this is? Another world. Another world. How many more worlds, huh? How low does it go, huh? How many more worlds? How many more worlds beyond the pole? Love to G and Nini. So this ain't play. This is being confirmed on the 1,000-year-old Japanese maps. Other drop, man, coming in. You know what I'm saying? Hard to find. Very hard to find. So love to the family doing the digging. So again, today, let me go back. The United States and more than 30 other nations prepared unprecedented polar expeditions for 1957 and 1958 to penetrate land now proved to extend without limit beyond both pole points. My original disclosure of then unknown land beyond the poles in 1926 to 1928 was captioned by the press as more daring than anything Jules Verne's ever conceived. Today, 30 years later, the United States, Russia, Argentina, and other nations, the same ones that Admiral Byrd was naming off that was interested in Antarctica and the South Pole in that video, all right, the same ones, right? Russia, Argentina, other nations have bases on that realistic land extent beyond which is beyond the earth. Beyond the earth. Okay. It is not space, as theory dictates. It is land and water of the same order that comprise known earth territory. The same land and water that you see is the same land and water they got. I'm sure they got some drop, you know what I mean? I'm sure they got some drop. Which is what we're talking about. So this work provides the first account of why it is unnecessary to attempt shooting up That's why the rockets they launch don't go straight up, do they? Look at a rocket launch. Does it go straight up? Or is it just flying until it goes horizontal, until it goes into one of these other worlds? Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, this star, that star, this star. Oh, we come from Tau Ceti. We come from another world. They come from another land. And now you're getting hijacked by people from another land. Okay, man. This work provides the first account of why it is unnecessary to attempt shooting up or out from the terrestrial level for a journey to any of the astronomically named celestial land areas. To the stars, you don't have to shoot up to go to the stars. It relates why such attempt would be futile. These pages provide incontrovertible evidence that the same atmospheric density of this Earth prevails throughout the entire universe. Such a feature proves that, except for the presence of a gaseous sky envelope and underlying oxygen content equivalent to that of the Earth, we could never observe the luminous celestial areas designated as star or planet. It is shown here that in a determination of realistic cosmic values, the observed luminous areas of the universe about us represent celestial sky areas, and that they are as continuous and connected as all areas of this Earth's continuous and connected sky. They are as continuous and connected as all areas of this Earth's continuous and connected sky. Hence, it is shown that there are no globular and isolated bodies to be found throughout the whole universe. Body bag. Hence, it is shown that there are no globular or isolated bodies to be found throughout the whole universe. Body bag. There are elements of lens deception. Accordingly, the absence of celestial bodies precludes any possibility of bodies circling or ellipsing in space. This work is radically and rightfully opposed to astronomical conclusions of all ages. It depicts the illusions developing from all telescope observations and photographs of the universe about us. It clearly explains and vividly illustrates why those lens-developed illusions have been mistakenly accepted as facts. Lens-developed illusions, because the telescope is a tail-eye scope created for globular illusions. Lens deception. The book is therefore unparalleled in the long history of man's attempted interpretation and recording of the universe about us. It projects man's first understanding of the factual and endless universe which contains human life throughout. It is vast, length, and width, regardless of all abstract theory to the contrary. Vast length and width, regardless of all abstract theories, Copernican theories to the contrary. This is a great quote right here. The discovery of new worlds. So-called Negro, listen up, because this applies to you. Because they found you here and enslaved you on your own land and said we discovered a new world. Now, when you look up the 1828 Webster Dictionary, it says the copper-colored races that were found here. So I'm talking to you. I slow it down. I don't care who wants me to go super fast because they're just information. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's all they want. You come over here, you know, look, we vibing. We have a wave of communication. So I'm going to slow it down. And we're going to take our time. And we're going to do it right. The first time. And we're going to vibe to guitars. Love to you. I know you're at work. I know you're doing different things. I know you grinding, you know what I'm saying? Hustling, doing what you got to do. But, keep the creative first, man, and let's keep getting oriented. Let's keep vibing and moving at the, speed of our destiny, The discovery of new worlds in matter as in mind is but the logical outcome of an infinite universe. The discovery of new worlds in matter as in mind is but the logical outcome of an infinite universe. You will always discover new worlds, no matter how far you go. It's a changing scene. All right, check this out. 1927 and 57. 1927, August. If it is so, the world we know of it. If it is so, the world we know of it. All right, I don't know what the hell that means. 28, July, Giannini. Since words cannot confirm you, words cannot deny you, it is your work and only you can give it. Wow, see, they can't confirm or deny. They can't confirm or deny. That's from the California Institute of Technology. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to confirm it, but I'm not going to deny it. California University, Robert Andrews. All right, you got to check this guy out, man. See what's going on. Giannini, if you prove your concept, it will establish the most complete physical continuity in the history of man. That's from physicists and seismologists, Santa Clara. So look, that academia has been digging on Giannini, is what you need to know. This is a great poem. I remember getting it last time. Check this out because it has everything to do with you. Only dreams are true. The tangible and real on which our lives are based was yesterday's ideal, a rosy picture traced by some quaint visionary, impractical, half-cracked, painting his fancy's air. And now it's a solid fact. Whatsoever we hold stable, dependable, and sane was once a hopeful fable of castles built in Spain. Before the fact, the fancy, before the deed, the dream, that builds by necromancy, which is what? Sorcery. The hard material scheme. So it's telling you right now, man, that they put that sorcery on you for their material scheme. The fact, the fancy, before the deed, the dream, that builds by sorcery, witchcraft, necromancy, the hard material scheme, because it's not true. So all your towers that shimmer, your lamps that light the sky, were once a tiny glimmer within some seer's eye. They're telling you you're living in an illusion. Some seer, had a twinkle in his eye. All your towers that shimmer, your lamps that light the sky, were once a tiny glimmer within some seer's eye. Man, time makes our empire scatter. Time makes our empire scatter, but we shall build anew. For only visions matter and only dreams are true. Wow, Burton Braley. Got to drop, man. Got to drop. Here's a look at the contents, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave you to drop, man. So you see the link, man, click on it, download it quick. It's hard to get. Love to Casey for this one. Great drop here. Connected universe, extrasensory perception. Modern Columbus seeks a Queen Isabella. What did I tell you? I had a whole chapter dedicated to you looking at it as a new world situation. A so-called Negro being found here by the European. Now they're finding what? More land beyond the poles, more worlds. And they play with you and they say, oh, NASA just discovered 14 more Earths. And you think they're talking about outer space. And everything is land, water, and air. All right, I want to jump in it now. I think that was a good intro. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we're going to get it like it's the first time. Again, we're going to take our time with it. We might bounce around a little bit. We won't necessarily go straight forward, chapter to chapter to chapter. But we might, next time go chapter 10 or 11. Come back to chapter 4. You know what I'm saying? So vibe with us. Let's surf the wave. And you know what I'm saying? Thank you, man, for providing the validation, that this wave truly is, comforting, that this wave can be a comfort for all of us, to dodge all hijacks, man, and come together. This wave is a comfort for us all. We all protect it, So choose one, choose up, choose one and choose up. Chapter 1, let's go. Extrasensory perception, a 1-minute express to the universe about us. Here we go. Let's get it bigger. This is reality. It is truth, stranger than any fiction the world has known. There is no physical end to the Earth's northern and southern extent. The Earth merges with land areas of the universe about us that exist straight ahead beyond the North Pole and the South Pole points of theory. It is now established that we may at once journey into celestial land areas by customary movement on the horizontal from beyond the pole points. Again, it is now established that we may at once journey into the stars, the land area of the stars, by customary movement, normal movement, on the horizontal, not going up, not vertical, straight. Just like it says here, there is no physical end to the Earth's northern and southern extent. The Earth merges with land areas of the universe about us that exist straight ahead. And that's why all of NASA's rockets go straight ahead, not straight up. They go up for a little bit, curve, and we're gonna YouTube some, man, just for fun. We're gonna YouTube some just for fun, eventually, So I don't know how long this series is gonna be, but it's one of my favorite topics because it's such a body bag and it's so much information, and people don't even know it. They just have a triggered response, And then once all these things start being confirmed to come out, they say, "Oh, it must be a psyop." I think it's a psyop. I think it's a psyop to have you spinning on a ball like this, on a wobble, in a vacuum of space, but water is stuck to the earth because of a force called gravity, a force that you believe in called gravity, a God, a force that is a theory, not a law. Is gravity a law or a theory? Quick. Is it fact or fiction? Quick. Is it illusion or reality? Quick. Is it a law or a theory? No, gravity is a theory according to science. So no scientist, not even Einstein, has proven gravity? What? And many say the contrary, that density on a flat plane works just fine. The physics of density, of being denser than the atmosphere or denser than the water, that's why you don't float away. You don't need gravity. You only need gravity when you're spinning on a ball in a vacuum and you need to make up a bunch of shit and say, well, they're going to ask, how does things get stuck, though? Because you're spinning at 1,100 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Hurling, at whatever, hundreds of thousands and millions and billions. You know what I'm saying? Look, we're getting all our stuff together. We're getting all the orientation together. So we're talking about going straight ahead, not straight up. Straight ahead. It is now established that we may at once journey into celestial land areas by customary movement on the horizontal from beyond the pole points. It is also known that the flight course from this earth to connected land areas of the universe about us, which appears up or out from the earth, will always be over land and water and vegetation common to this earth area of the universe whole. Never need we shoot up, as popular misconception demands, to reach celestial land existing under every luminous area we observe at night. On the contrary, we will move straight ahead and on the same physical level from either of theory's imaginary pole points. Confirmation of such a flight course is had in that of the U.S. Navy Task Force of February 1947, listen up, which penetrated 1,700 miles beyond the North Pole Point and beyond the known Earth. Additional and more recent confirmation was acquired by the flight of a U.S. Navy air unit on January 13, 1956, which penetrated 2,300 miles over land beyond the South Pole. All right, so you got two confirmations right here, 1947. You got the U.S. Navy Task Force, February 1947, penetrating 1,700 miles. Then you got the U.S. Navy Air Unit on January 13th, 1956, penetrating 2,300 miles over land beyond the South Pole, beyond Antarctica. What did Admiral Byrd say? Oh man, it's a landmass the size of America beyond Antarctica. And pretty soon, all these countries are going to be into it. There's uranium. He said uranium and other very essential minerals and resources. And that was in 1947, people. Oh. So put it all together. There is no space whatsoever between areas of the created universe. There is no space. I know. I mean, we all got to get our minds, blasted. Because that's why I had to go back to it, because it's easy to go back to sleep thinking that there's space. Because it's just, it's such a big ass lie. I mean, that's how you do it, man. You put some truth in it. You put some mathematics that are inversed, that make sense because they're inversed. And then, you give people a bunch of movies and a billion images, but none of the images are real. There is no space whatsoever between areas of the created universe, but there must deceptively appear to be space in all observations. That apparent space results from the illusory globularity and isolation of celestial sky areas. Illusion, man. Globularity. Ball earth, man. Isolation. No, there's no isolation. There's no separation. Just like there's no separation with us. Isolation of celestial sky areas. Illusion. The same illusory conditions have been proved to develop from observation of luminous outer sky areas of the terrestrial. Outer sky means the sky as it is observed against stratosphere darkness. So the outer sky you think is an outer sky that these telescopes, telescopes have been giving you, this false globular, deception. This outer sky means the sky as it is observed against the stratosphere darkness. Stratosphere darkness plays in the lens deception. The concept that the universe is comprised of globular and isolated bodies originated from the curvature that is developed by all lenses. And that lens-developed curvature fosters the deception appearance of globular and isolated bodies comprising the universe. The bodies are illusory. An illusion, those bodies, these isolated bodies are an illusion, my people. Wake up and come out of her spell. The bodies are illusory. The ancient conclusion of Galileo Galilei that luminous celestial areas are isolated from each other and are circling or ellipsing in space was founded on the inescapable errors of lens functioning. The circling movement apparent to Galileo is an illusion. In an endless land and sky universe of reality, the undulating or billowing of luminous sky gas enveloping the entire universe must deceptively appear as a circling or ellipsing movement. The deceptive appearance develops from the fact that such gaseous sky movement is detected by a circular lens. Hence, there is necessarily reproduced the circular and therefore globular appearing lens image. Under the mobile sky gas, which extends throughout the celestial realm, or the celestial realm, there is undetectable but very factual land, water, vegetation, and life like that common to this earth. Again, under the mobile sky gas, which extends throughout the celestial realm, throughout the stars, throughout space, there is undetectable but very factual land, water, vegetation, and life like that common to this earth. Therefore, the so-called stars and planets of astronomical designation are in reality lens-produced, apparently globular and isolated areas of a continuous and unbroken, luminous celestial outer sky surface. It envelopes every land area of the celestial in the same manner that it envelopes the terrestrial land. One may question how such features were known when science was without record of them. If so, one has but to finish reading this chapter, which adequately describes how, when, and where. It was October 1926. Take notes. When he who sought the answers to the universe mysteries wandered through a woodland vale of old New England, lavish with the scented breath of pine and birch and hemlock. There, as if directed by some unknown force, he viewed a massed white formation of celestial sky before it developed the luminosity which deepened twilight shadows would bring. Then it was the extrasensory perception's force was asserted, and ere darkness gripped the woodland scene, the seeker in spirit viewed the vast unknown. Time and space became unknown as the portrait of cosmic reality was unfolded to this inner sight. Unmindful of the deductions and conclusions of the centuries, the formidable inner sight penetrated through the luminous sky depth of the resplendent so-called heavens above. Moving beyond the limited horizons of ordinary and standardized perceptions, he was privileged to witness that which the proud sense of sight and all its telescopic lens assistants, regardless of their flaunted power, had been unable to detect from the time the first crude telescope was fashioned. The sensational portrait developed by extrasensory perception was of the sublime creative universe pattern which had defied man's analysis from the unknown hour when terrestrial man first beheld the challenging celestial spectacle, and it brought realization that the then almost 1900-year-old parable, with eyes ye not see, ye see not, ye believe what ye see not, should also contain the admonition that lenses patterned after the human lens will be compelled by their function to distort things and conditions seen and supposed to have been seen in the universe about us. So again, remember when Phil Valentine was breaking down how your eyes already have curved lenses, right? So there is already a bending of light taking place. And then now you have a telescope shaped after the human lens, also with a concave lens. And this, now you have a double concave situation going on and a deception going on of globular isolated bodies. With eyes ye see not, yet believe what ye see not, should also concern or contain the admonition that lenses pattern after the human lens, the concave eye, will be compelled by their function to distort things and conditions seen and supposed to have been seen in the universe about us. His perception's view extended 1,000,000 miles and more beyond the mathematical boundaries of a fallacy assumed isolated globe Earth. It penetrated through the sublime celestial domain, where deceptive lights like flashing eyes of artful courtesans had for untold centuries beckoned and wooed terrestrial man into their enlightening embrace. But terrestrial man, misreading the luminous signals, was denied the long dreamed of pleasure of the propinquity. That's a nice word right there. I always like to look up the new words in my etymology so we know exactly what's going on. It's not just about reading, it's about really absorbing and seeing what they're saying. Because sometimes they slip jewels in like propinquity from the late 14th century. Nearness in relation, kinship. So this is describing something that is near, close in kinship and relation. Physical nearness. Nearness, vicinity, relationship, affinity, near, neighboring. Neighboring. Okay. Let's go. I think we're ready. Let's get that again. But terrestrial man, misreading the luminous signals, was denied the long dreamed of pleasure of their propinquity, their closeness, their nearness, their neighboring. So a terrestrial man, misreading, he's in the deception of luminous signals, of the luminous stars. He is in a deception, misreading the stars, misreading them, was denied the long dreamed of pleasure, because he dreamed of the pleasure of their propinquity, their neighboring, their closeness, their kinship, their relation. He had properly interpreted the signals, he would have long since acquired land areas of the universe about us. There was no misinterpretation of signals by the seeker in 1926. He journeyed to the celestial beacons on the wings of extrasensory perceptions, limitless necromancy. Remember necromancy? Let's get that one while we're at it. Told you we take our time, man. Because when we get it like it's the first time. Divination by communication with the dead. Yeah. Sorcery. Magic. Necromancy. Witchcraft. Sorcery. Okay. Look it down here. Spelling influence in medieval Latin by nigger. Black. Any questions? I told you, so-called Negro, wake up, man. It's all about you. The labels they put on you, the sorcery they put on you, the spell they've put on you, the necromancy they've done to you. He journeyed to the celestial beacons on the wings of extrasensory perceptions, limitless spells. That magic permitted breaking through the long-established barriers of deduction, hypothesis, and theory. It disdainfully pushed aside the ice barriers of the terrestrial North and South Pole, assumed end of the Earth. The ice barriers, it disdainfully, it had to force aside these ice barriers of terrestrial North and South Pole, assume ends of the Earth. What ice barriers? What iceberg? Oh man, they've been taking down the good links, y'all. Watch this. Sometimes you gotta go in the crates, man. We should do so much recon on this stuff. I gotta like dig up like the goods, man. Gotta go in the crates. Got the Antarctic Treaty. Let's definitely pull that up. So we will be getting on that. Looking for my ice wall. You know what? Let's just get it like this. Antarctica. Ice wall. Flat. Okay. I mean, that was easy enough. Sometimes I'm just stubborn. I just be stubborn sometimes, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. What ice wall? Imagine just rolling out, and bang! You can see on top of it, as far as you can see, what they're saying is that they penetrated 2,000 miles beyond this to find another pocket of water that contained land, just like this pocket of water that contains land. In other words, you have other water, ice, all right? Look at it this way. This is an ice sheet, all right? This is an ice sheet. And these are the pockets of water with land in it that have other suns and other moons. Dig it down. Now it's said to be about 200 feet high. You know what I'm saying? So this is the only continent that you got to climb up on, Antarctica. You don't just roll up on Antarctica. You got to climb 200 feet to get to the top of the ice sheet and travel through. I mean, look, it's like a video game. These are barriers that just, were not meant to be crossed or broken. Except if you have some type of pass or technology. And it appears that their little angels set up their own little system. Oh, where's my Thoth? Seems like they angels set up their own little system. So when we talk about ice wall, that's an example, and there's many more. Go just, look up pictures for yourself. So apparently there are cracks in this ice wall. All right, little passages, like a little one over here. But on this America side, here was the gate. Here was the Ra Summer Gate. All right. The Sun Gate, Ra's Gate. All right. With another sun outside of it. And Thoth, the moving island. All right. And then you got some more stuff labeled here. A moon called Yah and a rogue moon called Yah. A moon called Set and a moon called Anubis. A land called Pitatia. A land called Geminia. All right. A land called Hapis. Thoth, the moving island. Something called Libros. Is it play? All right. Well, let's keep going. It disdainfully pushed aside the ice barriers of the terrestrial north and south pole, assumed ends of the earth. They assumed that this was the end of the earth. So he said, all right, well, here's Africa, South America, North America, Australia. That's it, guys. Biddy. We out of here. That's all we got for you. So it's up to you to do what? I said it's up to you to do what? Get the drop, right? If they push it aside, you got to keep researching. You got to keep reconning. Let's see if we can find a couple more shots. All right, look at this one. All right. So no matter where you pull up on this thing, you have a barrier that's been placed there for a reason. Check this one out. Hold on, let me get I'm gonna switch it up if y'all don't mind. Y'all mind if I switch it up right quick? I want to get my flow. I want to get my Marley flow for fair use, educational purposes. That 432 hertz. Marley reggae dub style. Alright. Yeah, man. So you even have portions like this where there's no ice, but you still see the barrier. Yeah. Switch up our flow. Look at this portion right here. There's a barrier. They said Antarctica is not just ice, so you see dry land too. A dry land barrier. And look at this ice barrier. How far does it go? How far does it go? How far can you see? Look at this ice barrier. How far can you see? Look at these people on the boat. So they just rolling up like, damn. I gotta climb up, a couple 100 feet to get to the top of this. And once you do, man, you just gotta, I guess, keep going till you find another pocket of water. All right. So it disdainfully pushed aside the ice barriers of the terrestrial north and south pole, assumed earth ends, and there, beyond the poles, the most fascinating creative secrets were divulged. Throughout the ages, they had been held in sacred trust for the doubter and true seeker who ventured that way. The secrets, then disclosed, provided knowledge of land courses into all the land areas of the universe. Hence, to discerning consciousness, it was plainly shown there are no ends to the earth. Affliction's curse is always accompanied by a certain measure of blessing, and alas, each blessing contains an element of curse. Hence, dreamers must bear the flagellation which dreams impose. Rebels must pay a price for their rebellion. They who are driven by forces obscure and extraordinary must be denied mortal contentment. Dreams that have built civilization are magnified obsessions, but they are none the less obsessions, and the obsessed cannot hope to escape the ruthless and whipping of obsession. The constant driving urge of one endowed with extraordinary perception demands that the substance of such perception be displayed, defended, and protected at whatever cost. and he who unrestrained spirit compelled the breaking of every man-made rule applying to the celestial was forced to present his astounding findings and to make them interpretable to the majority. But that majority, accepting and abiding by the conclusions and dictums of established theory, always contentedly dwell within the safety of deduction's ordained realm, where finders and findings in the considered abnormal and fearful extrasensory realm are never welcome. Love to G and Nini. Dig on it, man. I mean, we're going back to the 20s for y'all. We connecting the 30s for y'all. We getting that Admiral Byrd 40s for y'all. The 50s, the 60s, the lead up. We're going back to the 1400s, the Copernican theory, the Papal Bull, the 1500s. Come on. Come on with us. Don't be shy. Let's get a little bit more. Then we're going to check out some Eric Dubé drop. Check some other stuff out, man. Let's go. Thus, how was this pilgrim from the extrasensory world to present his gifts, which were readily perceived to have originated in that fearful realm? How, at a time of midnight's darkness, was one to make plausible the brilliant light of noon to the majority who had never experienced that light? Moreover, the majority had absorbed the centuries' teachings which precluded any possibility of that light. That which is original and is conceived beyond the limits of acceptable majority concepts need not disqualify the originator for workaday existence among the majority, for there need not be abnormality expressed in daily application to demands of the social pattern. Yet the dream, the invention, the discovery, or whatever is original is too readily designated as madness. Hence, how can the originator of such considered madness hope to woo adherents of the organized and acceptable thing or conclusion which is an error? Must not the majority always consider the new course revolutionary? And if the thing or condition advanced upsets centuries of teachings, must it not be viewed as an expression of who is mad? Viewed as an expression of one who is mad. The restless, creative artist, the absorbed, absent-minded inventor, the discoverer, and even the pioneer in an industrial operation may conform to the majority social framework, but it is always a problem to introduce unwelcome findings to the majority who are absorbed in pleasing but fanciful and fallacious traditions which deny the reality of the findings. Y'all can't feel the spirit of this man. You know what I'm saying? You might need to go ahead and get with it or get left out. The enduring pages of history are finally etched with record of dreamer enterprise which was diametrically opposed to the established concept of a particular time and place. But the dream helped build our civilization despite majority disdain. It was thus from the time the fool threw black dirt into an open wood fire, and through such foolishness established the view, the value, and purpose of coal. He and an elusive battalion and others represented what the majority was pleased to label crackpots, visionaries, dreamers, and madmen all. But they were the fearless experimenters and pure scientists comprising the always ostracized civilization-building clan. Their indomitable spirits were nourished by a creative nectar too potent for normal majority consumption. Such dreamers forced to dwell in spacious loneliness were but rare exception compelled to fight alone, for it is most exceptional for members of the majority to risk their society's censor by open and active cooperation with an impetuous pilgrim from the realm where dreams so full of reality are incubated. Man, I get into this, man, I get into this, man. I can surf this wave, man. Can you? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? All right, come on. The following, therefore, may serve as a timely guide for understanding values contributing towards civilization's development, and it may thereby permit easier comprehension of values this work is intended to present in terms that all may grasp. Socrates, the ancient and profound philosopher, was considered mad by the majority of his time and place, and the immortal Christus was denounced as mad on more than one. All right, so yeah, he's talking about Christ. All right, come on, we're gonna dodge the hijack, but we rocking, G and E, we rock. Let's go. We may read of the strangeness of Robert Fulton, who harbored an insane idea of harnessing steam for the propulsion of boats. History also records Benjamin Franklin's insane tampering with the elements by catching lightning with his stupid kite and key. The eccentricity of Thomas Edison is recalled. His particular insane notion was of holding powerful electricity in a fragile glass bulb to produce electric lightning. Westinghouse had an equally insane idea of stopping a monstrous locomotive and train with nothing more formidable than the release of air. That insanity gave us air brakes. Outstanding in the Dreamers Hall of Fame is the name of Louis Pasteur. He is not a member of the medical fraternity of his time, but he contributed to medical science in his most profound values, while followers of the medical dogma were busy castigating him for such ridiculous enterprise and mad claims. This limited review of the world's so-called eccentrics, crackpots, and impractical visionaries may be continued with mention of Alexander Graham Bell's eccentricity. His plodding perseverance provided our telegraphy, too, was provided by the madness of Samuel Morse, who was guilty of the wild claim that messages can be sent through the world without the sound of a voice. The entry is hardly dry on history's page without recording the Wright's folly. Such a term describe the majority opinion of Orville and Wilbur Wright, yet while the normal majority ridiculed the new enterprise beyond their understanding, the Wright brothers threw restrictions to the wind and navigated the first crewed airplane over Kitty Hawk. And he's naming all these, folk, but we already know that, all of the, inventions that we think of today as cozy things, the refrigerator, electricity, like those currents and the way that the wirings are, man, all that stuff, all this stuff, man, are you. All of what he should be naming are you. I can, matter of fact, one of my peoples, man, we have a nice thread of information going on at all times, man. And, they send a great inventors, African-American, so-called, with copper-colored inventors. And it's basically everything that you deem, that makes your life comfortable today has been invented, by these people already here. And this is old technology, old stuff. So they're just maybe rediscovering some stuff. But we know the drop, that this is old copper color technology. Flying stuff. Cities of gold, Atlantis, Lemuria, man. Old technology. So, don't let them hijack you with their rediscoveries, So he's talking about the new world stuff, but he's also talking about this new world, mentality of discovering things, that are very, very, very well established already here. These and an exclusive list of others who are not popular dreamed their individual dream and made that dream come true, and their particular form of compulsion was, to them, both blessing and curse. Therefore, as we are mindful of the unchanging matter, whereby life force at work shows perception, see that mankind may always garner a crop fruitfully original, some guidance should be afforded for future reception of the seeds and the crop. Knowledge should develop that the new and that the original of any time must, because of its newness, and only for that reason, be decreed by constituents of the old. Because something is new, it must be madness Because we say we're surfing a wave that's new to people. It must be madness. We must be called gangs and cults and this and that. And all we are is groups of people surfing a new wave, waking up, feeling good, remembering, communicating, reading, you know what I'm saying? And we still get labeled by our own people, constituents. And I guess that's just a force of nature, and nature always wins. The old, the traditional, the established is always the sacred cow feeding on the clover of assumption, in each time's pasture of cultivated and acceptable conceptional values. Therefore, it must be preserved at any cost. The new and unknown is always fearful to the majority. The new and unknown wave, the unfamiliar wave, is always fearful to the majority. The fear extending normal pursuits within an established social pattern may be dispelled or at least modified by one means or another. But the fear that which is new and unknown, and which is beyond the conditions and afflictions of the ordered pattern, must disturb the conforming majority. Routine is the order of pattern, and though it is at times fatiguing, it embraces a measure of security, symbolic of safety. Hence the new and the unknown must be in some measure resented. Hence the new and the unknown wave must be in some measure resented, and must always fight for a hearing. Human nature demands that beliefs acquired must be cherished and protected, be they ever so incomplete and faulty. My truth is the truth, so say we all. Thus, like the porcupine projecting its quills and sensing possible danger, the majority become all automatized to throw against the new and unknown the oral quills of skepticism. Automatized, automatic, triggered to throw against the new and unknown the oral quills of skepticism. That's what you get, right? The oral quills, the oral porcupine, the oral quills of skepticism, cynicism, and ridicule. Does anybody else feel ridiculed? Does anybody else feel cynicism? Does anybody else feel the oral quills of the porcupine, automatized, automatic triggered to throw against the new and unknown wave? The oral quills of skepticism, cynicism, and ridicule, without even hearing values inherent in the new. They fear that the new might encroach upon or upset their cherished beliefs. Accordingly, with some appreciation of guiding principles making for human concepts, we may now review the early movements of this particular work's originator in his pilgrimage to make known the unknown universe of reality. Love to Giannini, man. How real is that? How real is that? So we're right here, you know what I'm saying? We're getting it like it's the first time. You know what I'm saying? We will continue, but next time you might belly flop into a whole nother zone, man. So, get your best surfboard out. If you're ready to be the water, then you don't need the surfboard, man. Just hop in the water and be the water. Extend beyond the limits that they've given you in your research. We're going to belly flop right into this Eric Dubé, the Flat Earth Conspiracy, make our dismount. This particular part right here is called Standing Water is Flat Water. Let's see if we can get it a little bigger. Standing water is flat water. All right. So, he's going through just different, concerns that people have, regarding the elements of perception. I don't know how much he and Giannini vibe, or jive, or to what extent. But of course, they know they're not spinning on a ball. They know they're not under, isolated globular illusions. All right. So, standing water is flat water. It is part of the natural physics of water and other fluids to always find their level and remain flat. If disturbed in any way, motion ensues until the flat level is resumed. If dammed up, then released, the nature of all liquids is to quickly flood outwards, taking the easiest course towards finding its new level. Again, water is always level. So if they try to put you on a ball of water that's being stuck on the earth by a force called gravity that's not proven, but it's a theory, not a law, in a vacuum of space that should be sucking out this water, but no, this force of gravity is so strong that it keeps cajillion millions of tons of water stuck to the earth. But birds are flying freely because this force of gravity somehow allows the birds to do whatever they want to do, but the water has to be stuck with this force of gravity. Yet water, is in a calm stream. You see a nice calm stream of water, even though you're spinning at 1,100 miles per hour, constantly spinning at 1,100 miles per hour. But this force of gravity keeps that water so calm, and this water stuck. But LeBron James is dunking from the free throw line. You have to turn on your senses, look around you. Nothing is being stuck and glued by a force of gravity. It is density, it is physics, and it is beautiful. It is Hawa. It is our creator. It is existence. Water is flat. Always. Water doesn't curve. You don't take a cruise from here to Hawaii and have to curve over a 700-mile ball of curvature of water, which you would probably need to go that distance. You would need that amount of curvature. Miles of curvature. Do you think you're taking a cruise over miles of curving water? Have you ever seen water curve into a ball? I'm not talking about a bubble in zero gravity. I'm talking about water in gravity. With gravity, with the force of gravity. Somebody tried to show me a bubble in zero gravity bubbles. I'm like, but you have gravity on your model, right? Don't take your force away. Your force plays, right? So let's play your force. Have you ever seen water curve into a ball in a vacuum, in gravity, on a wobble, spinning? And then put some flying little fly in it like a bird, just put a little fly in it. Let the fly do what it wants to under all those conditions. Then tell me that that's where I live and that's my habitat and I'm limited. Call me the Middle Earth one more time. Call me the Middle Earth one more time. Call me the Middle Earth one more time. You're going to make me go crazy, man. You're going to make me go crazy. All right, let's go. If disturbed in any way, motion ensues until the flat level is resumed, right? Water always flattens out, right? Not curved in a ball, right? If dammed up, then released, the nature of all liquids is to quickly flood outwards, taking the easiest course towards finding its new level. Here's a quote from W.T. Lin. The upper surface of a fluid at rest is a horizontal plane. The upper surface of a fluid at rest is a horizontal plane, because if a part of the surface were higher than the rest, those parts of the fluid which were under it would exert a greater pressure upon the surrounding parts than they receive from them. So that motion would take place against the particles and continue until there were none at a higher level than the rest. That is, until the upper surface of the whole mass of fluid became a horizontal plane, not a ball. And that's from W.T. Lin, First Principles of Natural Philosophy. Let's go. If the earth is an extended flat plane, then this fundamental physical property of fluids finding and remaining level is consistent with experience and common sense, man. I mean, wake up your senses, people. Ain't that the point of waking up? Is to turn your senses back on? But no, we got our teachers and our brothers that are conscious and awake, but they're spinning on a ball. But they're conscious, but they're spinning, but they're conscious, but they're spinning, but they're conscious though. But they're still spinning at 1,100 miles per hour. And it's not a joke. I'm not clowning. Ever. Because this is a serious matter. Because if you are psychologically believing that you're spinning at 1,100 miles per hour, you don't think that's detrimental to your consciousness, to your wave? Until you plant yourself firm with the earth that's firm, will you ever connect with it? How can you connect with the earth if you're subconsciously spinning? Because that's all you're doing, subconsciously. Because it's not happening physically, because it's never been proven physically, and you've never seen a physical picture of this earth except these independent balloon experiments showing a flat, stationary, unlimited plane. If the earth is an extending flat plane, then this fundamental physical property of fluids finding and remaining level is consistent with experience and common sense. If, however, the earth is a giant sphere, tilted on its vertical axis spinning through never-ending space, then it follows that truly flat, consistently level surfaces do not exist here. You can't have a consistently flat surface of water or land. But then you have, oh, well, here's these flat lands. Here's this land, in whatever state it is, called the flat state. It's like the flattest state because it's clearly no curvature. Consistently level surfaces do not exist here. So it only makes sense to start doing the methodology, you know what I mean, and testing whether the surface is consistently level. And that's exactly what they did in the 20s and 30s and 40s. And we're going to bring up all this great experimentation. You got some of that Abizayi before we kicked it. That Abizayi right out the library. And we're coming back to you. Love to y'all for being patient with us. So this flat, consistently level surface should not exist here on a giant sphere that has nothing but curvature because it's a ball. All right. Moreover, if the earth is spherical, then it follows that the surface of all Earth's water, including the massive oceans, must maintain a certain degree of convexity. But this is contrary to the fundamental physical nature of water to always be and remain level. All right. There should be the curvature in the water if there's going to be curvature on the ball. The surface of all water, when not agitated by natural causes such as wind, tides, earthquakes, etc., is perfectly level. The sense of sight proves this to every unprejudiced and reasonable or waking people with awoken senses. Can any so-called scientist who teaches that the earth is a whirling globe take a heap of liquid water, whirl it around, and so make rotundity? He cannot. Can you make it round? Can you make a sphere? That's what I said. Show us an experiment of spherical water. That's all you have to do. Get some water and turn it into a sphere under the same conditions. Put a vacuum. Remember the vacuum of space and spin it, whirl it. It has to move hella fast, right? So put it at thousands of miles per hour. Make it spin at 1,000 miles per hour. Make the water not fly out because of this force. Call it gravity, fine. So put some magnet, some type of force that keeps the water in, and then let birds and stuff or a little fly just fly around nice and free as if the gravity doesn't affect it. While this gravity is sticking this water to this ball. And that's what they're telling you people, because you're asleep. They're saying you're isolated, global or isolated, when it's nothing but land, water, and ice, and you stopped exploring a long time ago. The spirit of exploration left you a long time ago. The spirit of migration left you people a long time ago. Now you're settled in your cities. Nice and cozy in a system. Nice and cozy. Fully asleep. He cannot. Therefore, it is utterly impossible to prove that an ocean is a whirling, rotund section of a globular earth rushing through space at a line given rate of false philosophers. William Thomas Wiseman. The earth in a regular plane. You look it up. Last part we'll get right here. If we were living on a whirling ball earth, every lake, pond, marsh, canal, other large body of standing waters, each part would have to comprise a light arc or semicircle curvating downwards from the central summit. For example, if the ball earth were 25,000 miles in circumference, as NASA and modern astronomers say, then spherical trigonometry dictates the surface of all standing water must curve downwards an easily measurable 8 inches per mile. So I said some say 6, some say 8. So all right, let's go with 8. Measurable. So every mile should have 8 inches of curvature, whether you're talking water, whether you're talking land. You're on a ball, right? You got to be on a ball. You can't have straight water on a ball, people. Huh? You got beaches and everyone has the same horizon. Everyone says, yeah, the boats go down over the horizon. But if you're on a ball, is everyone looking down? What about the person on the other part of the curve on the ball? No, everyone's not on the same part of the ball. They have different angles. So your horizon going down would not be the same as somebody else who's opposite of you, whose horizon should be going up. So they should be seeing the boats go up over the horizon. Everyone can't look down over the horizon on a ball. Tommy can't be on the top of his ball and Joseph is beneath him in curvature, but Joseph looks up at Tommy. Tommy's looking down at Joseph. So Tommy will see the boat going down over the horizon, but Joseph will see the boat going up because he's looking up at Tommy. He's on that part of the curve, not that part of the curve. Everybody's part of the curve changes. On a ball, you have different points, different angles, and you have to have curvature every 8 inches. If, like NASA says, you have a circumference limited Earth of 25,000 miles. As modern astronomers say. The spherical trigonometry dictates the surface of all standing water must curve downwards an easily measurable 8 inches per mile multiplied by the square of the distance. This is mathematics. This means along a 6-mile channel of standing water, the earth would dip 6 feet on either end from the central peak. This is mathematics. Experimentation. You can do this. To the benefit of true science and to the detriment of modern astronomy's pseudoscience, such an experiment can and has been tested. Like I said, you can do this. In Cambridge, England, there is a 20-mile canal called the Old Bedford. Look up the Bedford level experiment. You can do this. We got some of this in the Ame'rican, which passes in a straight line through the fenlands known as the Bedford level. The water has no interruption from locks or water gates of any kind and remains stationary, making it perfectly suitable for determining whether any amount of curvature actually exists. In the latter part of the 19th century, Dr. Samuel Robotham, a famous flat earther and author of the fine book. So this is the 19th century. All right, so this is not it's a new psyop, man. These have been independent research been going on 1800s, before that, all that kind of stuff, because they already were standing. The ancients already knew that they were firm, fixed, and immovable. Then these people come over here tripping with some other theories, and other people now are disproving these bullshit theories. So they came with the illusion. Copernicus went ham bone with it. It got accepted in the churches, which got accepted into the public schools. Now you got a globe in every classroom. You don't see deception there? Have you seen Inception? Well, while you're asleep, while you're a child, there's a globe next to you. That's called inception. Those are images. The Most High told you not to make graven images of anything. Now you have these graven images all over the place. Images, images, images. An experimental inquiry into the true figure of the earth, proving it a plane without axial or orbital motion, and the only material world in the universe, traveled to the Bedford level and performed a series of experiments to determine whether the surface of standing water is flat or convex. He's going to break down all this experimentation here. You see a boat with a flagstaff. The top of the flag, 5 feet above the surface of the water, was directed to sail from a place called Welsh's Dam, a well-known ferry passage, to another called Welney Bridge. Get some water for this dismount. Been on my alkaline, man. Feeling good, man, because I finally got something that I like to drink, you know. I don't like to drink water normally, but now, you know, it's kind of cool. All right. All right, man. Shit. All right, so now on this bridge, all right, you see this little 6 miles across, all right? So they're trying to see, is this water curving like this, or is it straight? You're going to test it. They're going to put a little flagstaff right above it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go 6 miles and see if they have any curvature. Let's see how much curvature they're supposed to have. This means that along the 6 mile channel of standing water, the earth would dip 6 feet on either end. So they're looking for that 6 feet. All right. So again, a boat with the flagstaff, the top of the flag, 5 feet above the surface of the water, was directed to sail from the place called Welsh's Dam to another bridge. These 2 points are 6 statute miles apart. The author, with a good telescope, went into the water and with the eye about 8 inches above the surface, observed the receding boat during the whole period required to sail to Welney Bridge. So, you know what I'm saying, this particular telescope was right there over the water, 8 inches above the water surface, observed the receding boat. So it stayed on the boat the entire time it went this 6 mile distance to Welney Bridge. The flag and the boat were distinctly visible throughout the whole distance. There could be no mistake as to the distance passed over, and the man in charge of the boat had instructions to lift one of his oars to the top of the ark the moment he reached the bridge. The experiment commenced about 3 o'clock in the afternoon of the summer's day, and the sun was shining brightly and nearly behind or against the boat during the whole of its passage. Every necessary condition had been fulfilled, and the result was to the last degree definite and satisfactory. The conclusion was unavoidable that the surface of the water for a length of 6 miles did not to any appreciable extent decline or curvate downwards from the line of sight. But if the earth is a globe, the surface of the 6 mile length of water would have been 6 feet higher in the center than at the 2 extremities. So in the center, it would have had the most curvature. In the center, it would have the most curvature right here. Right in the center would be from this particular 6 miles, 6 feet. All right, so it'd be 6 feet in the center between here and here, going along this curve of the earth scenario for this 6 miles. So from this experiment, it follows that the surface of standing water is not convex, and therefore that the earth is not a globe. On the contrary, this simple experiment is all sufficient to prove that the surface of the water is parallel to the line of sight and therefore horizontal, and that the earth cannot be other than a plane. Dr. Samuel Robotham, Zetetic Astronomy, Earth not a globe, an experimental inquiry into the true figures of the Earth, proving it a plane without axial orbital motion and the only material world in the universe. All right, then they did a second experiment, and we'll get this one next time. This is a good place to make our dismount. So these are scientific experimentation. Remember, science. That's a great dismount. Let's put science in etymology. I never seen that one yet. Science is repeatable and observable, people. So they say you're on a spinning ball, and you need to have that as a repeatable and observable method. What's the easiest way to prove you're on a ball? Give us a live feed of the Earth spinning. If you can go to Pluto and you can go to Jupiter, you can turn that damn satellite camera around and let us see the Earth spin. You don't have the technology. A camcorder won't do. You can't get a space camcorder so we can get a live feed of the Earth spinning, because that's what they would do if it was true. You would have a live feed of the Earth spinning. You would know, oh, okay, there it is. All these satellites, no real picture of the Earth, just admittedly fake composites that NASA has already admitted and said, yeah, well, they're all composites, but we only do that because it's so big. But we got pictures of space galaxies 96 trillion light years away. We got all these pictures of here's a new galaxy forming, but you don't have one snapshot of the Earth, one live feed of the Earth. There is no repeatable and observable science. You can't even back your gravity up. It's a theory, not a law. What is science? Oh, it's just a noun from the mid 14th century. Damn, that was the takeover, right? Yeah, a lot of takeover was happening. So what happened? What's this science thing? What is known knowledge of something acquired by study, information, also assured of knowledge, certitude, certainty. So you would have to be sure about gravity, right? Yeah. So would it be a theory? No, it would be a law if they were sure. So that's not scientific to bring up gravity, because it is assurance of knowledge, not a theory, but a law. Certitude, not a theory, but a law. Certainty, not a theory. Something that is known, not a theory, but a law. Something that is known. Come on. All right. Before I go crazy. I want to see some type of like rocket launch. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what we can get. Rocket launch. I'll put flat earth next to it, because sometimes they already got some good ones that they found. Revealing ash. Space shuttle view from an airplane. This might be good. I love y'all. Stay up, suit up, choose up. This is just part one, man. It's just getting good. We're just getting started. Hawaii. Now tell me if this rocket is going straight up or straight ahead.
Back there? Incredible. Wow. Yep, it's in the camera.
Right here.
Look how fast that's going, man. Look how fast.
All right. Now NASA, whoever launched this rocket, SpaceX, somebody. All right. Now they from the ground, it looks like it's going straight up, but from an airplane, you're gonna see they know not to go straight up. They're gonna go horizontal to go to another land beyond the pole.
Yep.
Yeah, folks, space shuttle's going off the right side of the aircraft right now. Those of you on the right side of the aircraft, you can see the space shuttle.
Wow.
On the left side of the aircraft, you can probably see people on the right side of the aircraft looking at the space shuttle.
Spaceship. Is it going to space? Is there space? Tip over.
That is remarkable. I would actually set it to VIP section and watch them launch.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it from the air.
Yeah. That's incredible.
My people, if you had to go to space, would you burn all this extra gas going this way? Or would you be going straight to space? Oh, but the Earth is spinning and therefore it has to catch the trajectory. Lies, lies, lies. You're not spinning. Einstein told you that.
Can you still see okay?
Yep, thank you. Faster than us.
Now listen, we don't want to have anybody complain because we were late. See, y'all got to see that. Then you can complain because we were late. Got it? All right. Drinks are in the house, too.
Is it going straight up or straight ahead? Straight up or straight ahead?
Yeah, pan over real quick so you can get
Straight
a full
up
shot.
or straight ahead? Stay up, suit up, choose up.